North-South games are very interesting. The one thing the atmosphere is so much different than any other place that I've ever played or I ever will play. Not just for the fact of the stands, were full every night and that the floor was a little bit bigger, but yet we didn't have the space on the side of the courts to move. It was the stuff that, like, during the day on Saturday, you practice, but you practice while cheerleaders were practicing on the sideline, or there was people hanging up posters, or the night before you would practice late at night because all the JV freshmen had to practice as well.
The Armory was a special place, and anybody that's been there, there were articles about it the last year that the game was played in the Armory. So many memories that the middle-aged to senior citizens have of the Armory and going to the Armory when they were in school as well. I was fortunate to be a part of so many of those games.
I know the first 2 minutes of every North-South game I played were always the ugliest basketball because everybody's getting so much emotion and up and down the court.
Indeed, it's an experience that you wish you could recapture. It was Hoosiers. It was everything about what high school basketball was. It was written up in the Journal Sentinel as that, the war on the shore, if you would, and just a special time, a special place, a special atmosphere, and you never knew if the underdog ever had a better chance to win, it would be in the Armory with all those things to fight.
When you think back, what games do stand out in your mind?
There were so many good ones, really. I couldn't pick out one or the other, and I'm sure the south side of Sheboygan will remember those victories that they got over north as well, in which a young man would come and just excel and maybe break a scoring record just by going off in north-south series. Everyone was memorable in its own right, I think, and I'd hate to single one or the other out. The one I remember best right now is our last one. It wasn't at the Armory at all, but the north-south games are special in Sheboygan.
Brennan Bogenschutz, either my junior or senior year, as we were jogging over in our warm-ups, he tripped and fell into the grass and had a giant grass stain on his warm-up pants.
When you play him in the field houses versus the Armory, how is it different than the Armory?
Well, if people remember, a team sat on opposite sides. The south team would sit on the south end of the Armory, and the north team would sit. You'd have to run to the scoring table, which was on the baseline. If you went in for a layup and got pushed at all, you wound up on the stage or against the wall in front of the stage. If you ran into the other end, you might run right into the ticket booth at the other end of the Armory. So it was a special atmosphere, and all of the games were filled. The condensation dripping off the walls, dripping off the ceiling onto the floor, and just special times and special places. I think I'm bringing back memories. The shower, the locker room, which was about the size of most walk-in closets for both teams, and walking down the steps to get there. We actually would dress at the YMCA because of the JV game going on there, and so many special memories.
Let's do one more thing. We've got a little bit of time left in this segment. It's not a north-south game, but it is an Armory experience, and that was back when Joe Wolf was a senior at Kohler, and you guys scheduled a game with Kohler in the Armory. Talk a little bit about that.
We were an up-and-coming team. We hadn't had much recognition. Indeed, when I came to Sheboygan North had, in the history of the school, had lost twice as many games as they'd won. And we were just about to turn the corner, have a winning season, I think a 13-6 record we finished with. And Kohler had the Wolf brothers. And I was, our kids were pretty tight with Joe and Jeff Wolf. And in fact, the year before, I took Joe and Eric Portman down to Chicago to the McDonald's All-Star game so that he could meet John Wooden, who was one of the directors of the game. And we talked about playing in the McDonald's game, and we also talked about maybe having a game against each other. And that came about. And I can remember Herb Kohler calling for tickets the day of the game, and our principal saying, where are we going to get tickets to put in some of these executives for this big game that would be on cable television in 1982.
I will keep dancing on point, even if it hurts.